Hopefully y'all can hear us.
Can y'all hear us now?
Let's see.
Or do we have the same problem? Are we dealing with the same demon in the house?
Okay, they can hear us.
Are we? Okay, we on now. We on. What's up, people? What's good, people? We lost a whole lot of folks, but that's all right.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
We thank God for the ones that are sticking with us and believe in us. You pressed on with us. You're still here. God bless you. It's 2B1 Marriage Ministry. Got Jermaine and Jackie. What's up, family?
Hello.
Good evening.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Outside all this technical stuff.
I'm sitting there like I put a camera. We got a new computer, and I tried to put the new camera on here, and it didn't work. So I have to figure it out.
Now, I'm going to be responsible for the comments. I'm looking at the comments while y'all doing it. I'm watching what folks are saying.
Okay.
Latasha, Andrea.
No.
I'm not saying names. Erica Maskin Husky. All right. Alice Vincent. All right. Thank y'all for hanging out with us on 2B1 Hill City Churches, 2B1 Marriage Ministry.
We got it together.
Oh, they say we sound good. All right.
Okay. You gonna control the comments?
Let's show. I can read them all.
Yes. No, because you don't put them on.
All right.
Okay, so tonight we're talking about a house divided, and I think every marriage, I don't want to say every, but majority of marriages may go through this phase in their relationship, and at the end, we just hope that everyone can be able to work through it, and hopefully reconcile or come back together and be that much stronger.
A house divided. My God.
Somebody said they get married. Okay.
Oh, that's
Yes.
how you do that. That's how you do that.
Yes, you just click on there. There you go.
And then now you take it off.
You just unclick it.
Amen.
There you go.
All right. Let me see.
So I ain't gonna be distracted.
No, I'm listening. I'm locked in.
Okay,
I'm
so
locked.
you wanna lead us in prayer, Pastor Dietrich, as we open up?
Absolutely. I would love to.
Go ahead.
Everybody, bow your heads everywhere from the north, south, east, and the west. Father, we thank you for this time of fellowship and coming together. Your word declares in all thy getting, get understanding. Help us to get understanding today, God, so we can be the family that you're calling for in this last and evil day. It's the enemy's plot and plan to separate marriages and godly unions and divine relationships, but we won't let it happen on our watch. We're coming together. We're on purpose. We're staying together, sticking together, communicating, getting the understanding. Bless us in this hour, in this season of our lives. In Jesus' name, bless this session. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Almost went in. All right.
So I just want to jump right into it.
Let's go.
How does a house? Now I have my screen.
Oh, Lord.
My things here, but hopefully they're still here. Yes.
Oh, wow. Come on now.
Okay, so our scripture we're coming from is from Mark chapter 3, verse 25. It's King James Version. It says, "And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand." And my question that we're posing tonight, one of them, is how does a house become divided, or what causes a house to become divided?
Who's going first? Jermaine, Jackie?
You want to go? Let me see. Let me see if I can tackle the first question or try to. How does the house become divided? Oh, I think that's a loaded question, but I'd have to say when it's not about having differences, but I think it's more so about when you have differences or you have a different perspective on certain things. What tends to happen is you really get the opportunity, or you come together and no one is willing to compromise at all. I think the first thing is being not compromise. It's the quickest way that a house becomes divided. without being able to compromise at all. I think the other piece to it is if you're marrying someone outside of Christianity, you know, and if you're connected to someone and they're saying, now I'm going this direction, and you're going that direction. And no one is willing to allow the other person to truly lead. So I think that's really, really big in terms of a house becoming divided. So two things I would say, you know, if someone is not yoked up with you in the same Christian environment. And then in the other piece is compromise, if no one is willing to compromise.
I agree, Jermaine. I also think that in a marriage, you're not going to always agree on everything. I mean, you're two different human beings with two different minds and two different perspectives, and it's okay not to agree. You know, it's okay. I think when the disagreement becomes the division, when the disagreement becomes, you can disagree without being divided. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, why does a disagreement have to put a wedge between us? Why can't we respect each other's perspectives and move forward with understanding? Because at least now I know the mindset of my spouse, and so I can govern myself accordingly to their mindset. And therefore, that's coming together and becoming one. But when we allow the disagreement to now put us at odds against each other, right, now the disagreement becomes demonic. Can I say that? It becomes something that opens a door for the devil to come in, right, and bring division between two people that are supposed to be one. Right. So I think the first order of business is knowing that it's okay to disagree. Like it's okay. Church folk think it's like the end of the world if we ain't unequally yoked. You get on out of here if you can't think the way I think. We ain't on one accord. I want a divorce. No. Take that out of the equation. What you're doing is you're understanding that your spouse has her own mind. He has his own mind. They see it differently. And this is an opportunity to come together and get understanding. That's what it is. But if we let that opportunity turn into something else, then that's how you cause division. Right. Am I making sense?
Oh yeah, making a lot of sense. You just said something very key, that understanding. You're right. It's not even about the disagreeing, because we are completely different individuals. But when you decide I'm not willing to hear you at all,
right,
that's where you start to become divided, because understanding that I will not see your way, you're not going to see my way. But if neither of you are willing to truly understand the other perspective, oh my, that is
huge. That's big. And I think if we even have the disagreement in love, if love is always in the equation, it's okay. The minute love goes out of the equation, then it opens the door for something else, for it to become something else. But love is the glue that will keep you together.
I think too, what comes to or allows division or a divided house is ego, and arrogance and pride and lack of commitment, lack of trust, needs not being met. I think those are some causes that make a house divided. And the other, the spouse not being able to own up to those things, not realizing that's what.
Ooh, Ollie just hit it. I got to highlight that. Where is
it? See, now you're gonna be. That's what I just said. You're gonna be.
She said outside influences. She hit it.
So I think those two, but I think those in marriage. For me, I think that's causes division. Just pride, ego, lack of commitment, not meeting one's needs.
That's a whole lot.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jermaine.
No, it is a whole lot. I think, but that last one, First Lady, not meeting one's needs. I think that's kind of important to talk about, because if saying I'm not meeting your needs, you're not meeting my needs, then that causes division. Then we have to look at what type of needs are we talking about. Is this more so of you don't do it for me, or you're not cleaning up around the house, or you're not doing what I say? What type of need? Is it more so of this internal personal need? If we talk about not meeting each other's needs, and I do agree with you about the vision, but I think that's important to understand what meeting the needs truly means.
I mean, for me,
That's deep.
when a need is not being met, if, say for instance, I'm expressing to you or to my spouse, what's a good example of that? I don't want to be petty, but I'll be extreme. So it'll be off of what I don't want.
Petty LaBelle.
I don't want you to, or I want you to take me out on a date or take me out and romance me. But I keep saying that, and it never happens. And then now I'm feeling, neglected or unwanted or undesired. So then now I'm looking, like Ali said, outside influences to meet that need. And then now I'm getting the need from somebody else. And now I'm looking at the person I'm supposed to be married to, like, Johnny over here is meeting the need and you not, and I'm living with you. I'm doing this, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And I still feel like, you're not doing your part.
I think there's a cause and effect. There's a cause to every effect. Like if somebody's not being able to take you out on the date that you need, why? And I think you should take a good look at the why, because the why will help you shape your perspective. Because if you know that your spouse is loaded with responsibility and in this little small season, they're not able to do it, shouldn't that be a reason for you to kind of like not go hard on them because they're loaded with responsibility? And maybe when things clear up, things will, that desire will be fulfilled. And I think if we see everything in a positive light, stay positive, like keep it positive. Stay on the positive side. I think like seasons like that where you want something and it's not happening, seasons change. There will be a season where he got all the time in the world to take you out on as many dates as you want, you know what I'm saying? And the need will be met. And so I think if we keep it positive and don't be so quick to see your spouse as an enemy, then all will be well.
Yeah, I think that's
because y'all they like to see us as enemies, don't they?
This whole, what are you doing? This verse, it's not a us, it's more so versus, and that's true. It is. It's like, no, we're in this together. But you said some very important. I mean, it's a season. This marriage is a roller coaster, and so you're right. If you're not in this particular time, our lives may be different because we are building, and so you don't necessarily have time. And so I like to look at it as one of the things that I think is important. You talk about the vision and unmet needs is how do you understand what's happening with you as an individual as well? Because if everything is always about yourself, about the other person and what they're not doing wrong, that in and of itself causes division, because we're not having the emotional intelligence to really look within ourselves and say, all right, I need to be in check first. And then if you put yourself in check, it does help us to bring us together in unity versus causing division. Because when you're only doing this, that division is going to continue.
Right.
You're not meeting you're not doing this, you're not doing that. The division is going to be there.
Well, see, that's what the pride she was talking about. The pride is right there where you can't see outside of yourself. Everybody else is wrong but you. That's pride to me, where everything is wrong. Everybody wrong but you, and you don't see yourself in the equation. I think that it takes two to tangle, and you can't just put it all on that individual. You got to take inventory of yourself, Start with the man in the mirror. In the words of the great Michael Jackson, I'm asking him or her to change their ways, and no message could have been any clearer. Y'all know it. But the point of it is, you got to look at yourself, and before you start pointing the fingers at what I'm doing wrong, and sometimes that stuff be what it be. You got to ask yourself, where is this coming from?
Right.
Where is this coming from? Because some of that stuff is deeply rooted from way back when, before you were even married.
Right.
And now you have inherited this thing where this person is never satisfied, and there's nothing good that you can do to accommodate that thing that's deep on the inside of them. And all you can do is pray and do the best you can do. But sometimes your best is not good enough.
Right.
And at that point, what do? You put it in the hands of the Lord, and you do your best. And I do believe that people grow.
Right.
I believe that over time, we can get a different revelation. We all should be developing and growing and expanding. And I want to motivate couples not to give up in the process of developing. Be patient with your spouse. Be patient, like the old James Cleveland song. Y'all know, please be patient with me.
But how much patience should you have? I'm going back to that example with the individual when you're asking, and you're being like, you're not nagging, but you're saying, okay, I want you to take me out on a date, and there's no reason. I'm understanding the why. And why you're not taking me out. Okay, I'll give you benefit of that. Okay, so let's plan a day, and the day comes and you don't do it. That's still, my need is not being met. Even if I am being understanding, I'm working with you, I'm understanding the why, but now you still, when it comes to the day that we set, because you saved your money or whatever it was, or you cleared your schedule, why is the need not being met then? What does that mean? What
You're
is
asking me? Yeah,
I'm asking.
I'm trying to use my words right. I done been in therapy, so I'm trying to do right and trying not to attack, But I don't know how to answer that, because I think, not to get too personal, but I think that's where I'm at with my husband. I'm very vocal in what I want my needs to be. So I'm always like, okay, I thought, because we were on downtime with COVID, him not traveling as often would be different, but he's still working just as much as he was when he was traveling. So I've expressed, hey, hi, it's me, hello, hi, over here, hi. So I don't know how to answer that question, because I think that's where I'm at with my life right now. Like, hey, you got a lot going on, sir. And, we got access to Instagram. I don't want to be scrolling up and be hitting some likes on some stuff. So I'm gonna need you to
So I want to respond to that too, because I think it's twofold. There is a point where you do have to kind of stop whatever it is that you have going on to make that time. And here recently, that has been the case. Now, I'll go back and say, but I think there's also nothing wrong.
I'm working hard.
I also think that there's nothing wrong with, if you're saying I need this need met, literally blocking out the time and setting it up and doing it. Say, nope, this is I've secured this for us to actually do it. So, I remember early on in our relationship, it was me, the dating, the courting, all of that, even early on in the marriage. And so I think, and then as time went on, I did say that, yeah, you're right, I'm busy. So why don't you take the time to think about it, set it up, and do it? And she did it. And it worked out that way. So it wasn't just always me having to be the one to date you, and then you started dating me too. And I think that's part of it, even as men, is especially when you are a man who is on it in a sense, there's value in both. You know, it's always like the woman is the catch, and that is true, but that man has some value as well. And I think there's also something to be said about the woman making sure that she is in the mix of setting up that time to ensure that both needs are met as well.
Can I just add this whole COVID season that we're in, it's rough. It's rough for men. Because women too, but I'm just saying, like, we find ourselves, like, I find myself, working, even though I'm not doing concerts all over, like I on other fronts, I'm trying to make sure everything is flowing, the money is flowing, and that adds another level of pressure to you, because the responsibility is on that man to make sure things are happening. So, I understand how you can get swept away in this COVID season, just making sure even mentally, you're constantly thinking, like, if this don't happen tomorrow, if things don't, the job, if something over here, I gotta have it, make sure everything is flowing. So it's easy for us to get swept away in that. And so that's why we have a help meet, I believe, to help balance us out, to pull our coattail and say, all right, now, you finished with that? Come on in here. Let's go. Let's relax. So let's do this. Let's do that. So, I mean, that's a blessing when you can be vocal about what you need.
Right.
And, I'm saying, just be very vocal and communicate. And don't assume that I will because I'm not automatically wired that way. I'm more wired to navigate the ship. Like, I'm the captain that's responsible for the whole ship, church, everybody. And I'm at the wheel. So I'm thinking about the ocean. I'm thinking about the waves. I see an ice glacier over there. I see everything. And so I'm the little man at the wheel. So if I'm too driven about what's going on, you got to tap me on my shoulder and say, hey, come away. Is it on cruise control? Yeah, it's on cruise control. All right, come away. Okay, I can come away. I don't see any harm in that.
No, I don't see harm. I don't see harm in that. This is just I'm just driving that point, but I just feel like sometimes, okay, I know you're the captain of the ship and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But then as the co-captain, there's a lot of responsibility in that as well. So when you're guiding the ship or whatever, or you have to leave off the ship to do something, now I am controlling the ship and everything that goes along with that. But as a captain, there's certain things that you don't have to deal with that the co-captain has to deal with. So then you have to remember, as the captain, right?
You're gonna use that
captain.
She got me, y'all. She got me.
As the captain, I think, like, you have to think about the co-captain and say, okay, when I need a break, the co-captain comes up here and helps guide the ship. When do I give the co-captain a break with no responsibility? You know what I'm saying?
I think being a co-captain, it helps you to understand the pressure of the captain. So you see the same pressure. You see we're in it together. We're seeing the same warfare. So I think don't put the pressure on him saying, when you gonna give me time? He could say the same thing. When you gonna give me time? I mean, just everybody just work together, schedule it out, stay positive, and move forward.
But why does somebody have to stay positive?
I can honestly relate to what both of you guys are saying, because listening to you, Pastor, it gives me a perspective of Jermaine, just driving the ship, the boat, whatever you call it, and he has a huge responsibility for taking care of 5 people, and sometimes don't even get that moment to himself, once he's cooled down from the day, like, oh God, I'm going to bed and I'm doing it all over again. But I totally relate to you, First Lady, because I know that we all have our own separate roles. Jermaine has a role, I have a role to play, but it does get to the point where you're like, I feel like, as the co-captain, we're going to use them terms, your responsibility is everything. As the captain, I'm not saying you do, I'm not saying it, I'm just blanket statement, but you have one responsibility. As the co-captain, you're making sure that things run smoothly. behind the captain. So it does get stressful. It does, you get burnt out very quickly, very, very quickly. So I can totally relate to what both of you guys are saying, but I ain't got the answers.
This deep. I'm enjoying it, every bit of it.
Me
very,
too.
very deep. Very
And the
deep.
comments, and the comments. It was really personal. All right.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I think another way that we talked about a little bit, we talked about needs being met, but I think too in marriage, we come arrogant as well in our titles, in our positions. I'm the husband, I'm the man of this house. And also, and then you say, okay, you're the man of the house. But the man of the house at the same time takes care of the responsibilities as well. Not just the man things, but all things in the household. Because as a woman of the house, like my husband travels too, like Jackie, and like Jermaine, I should say. And when he's gone, I got to make sure everything is secure. So I'm mama and daddy and chauffeur. They got to get the kids to, get dressed, go to school, this, that, and the other, and those responsibilities. So I think, I just think feeling more important than they should in a relationship. It's like, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Yes, I'm just saying you're feeling more important than you ought to feel in a relationship, because to me, it's in a relationship, in your marriage, you are equal. Yes, the husband is the man of the house, but we are partners.
Absolutely.
So there shouldn't be, well, I'm the man of the house and you're the wife, and like that. That's what this sometimes when you're I feel like it's arrogant in a position. You feel more important than you ought to. I think that causes division too.
If I can, I think that I don't even know if it's a sense of one person being more important than the other. It truly is about responsibilities and expectations. Now, if I as a man and Jackie as a woman, me as the husband, her as the wife, I think one of the most important things is to know each other and to know the roles. If I can't say with pride and with confidence that I'm the man of this house, that's a problem. If Jackie can't say she's the woman of this house, that's a problem, because guess what? I am the man of this house. She is the woman of this house. And I think with that, we both understand the value that we both bring. And so if Jackie says I'm the woman of this house, I'm not going to contest that. I don't see that as being ego driven or prideful, but honestly, it is. You are right. You are the woman of this house. I am the man of this house. And that comes with a great deal of responsibility. That comes with a great deal of expectations. And it is work. So if I'm putting in the work and she's putting in the work, then you should own that title. Now, there's a difference between saying, oh, I'm the man of the house, but you're not carrying your weight. I think that's different. You're not carrying your weight. Okay, you got a point. If you walking around here saying you're the woman of the house and all you do is just lay up and laugh. Okay, yeah, now you're thinking too highly, So I do think it is okay for me to claim that title that I am the man of this house. And guess what? Same thing. She is the woman of this house as well, because we both hold a high level of value around here.
There is no big I's and little U's in the relationship. Your responsibility is not greater than mine. Mine is not greater than yours. It's a team. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're in it together. And the minute we start thinking that my responsibility is greater than yours, then we have a problem. That's ego right there. And I don't think a marriage can work at all with the ego involved. Everybody's flexing about what I bring to the table. Look what I bring to the table. Look what I did. Well, you ain't did this. No, I can't be a woman. No, I don't. I can't. I can only be me. And you should accept me for me. You married me for me, and you should respect that, just like I'm respecting you for you. And once we don't diminish or minimize the significance of my participation in this union, then we'll go smooth. But the minute you continue to minimize my significance, then there's a problem. So I think that's a dead end right there. That's a dead end, because we'll be flexing all day long. What I did, look what I brought. Look what I brought. Look what that. That's all division. That's where the evil comes in.
Been there.
You know, I can't cook like First Lady. You know what I'm saying? All I can make is some French toast. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I make a mean French toast.
That's good. You can cook if you try to.
I try, but it just don't work out.
I just think, I don't want to keep be the dead.
Yeah, because you got all these people on your side, and I don't like that.
No.
I gotta look.
That's the vision in these comments.
No, somebody said I married you. I married you because you was cute and not looked at the whole picture.
Well, why not? She can marry me because I'm cute. It don't get no better than this.
No, but what I'm saying,
It's all right. I want it. I don't mind.
that's what it is. But I'm just, for me, and a lot of stuff is just hypothetical. It's not necessarily what goes on necessarily, but I'm just saying when it comes to division in the home, I think that I don't want to phrase this. So
Spirit of division. I bind the spirit of division up in this house. Get out!
Okay.
In the name of Jesus.
I think that
Go and spit it out now.
no, because I want to be nice.
We can take it. We done heard it all. You know, men are some of the most abused species. Men.
Yes.
You know.
Say it again. Say it again.
Abused verbally a lot. Y'all just say,
Y'all
y'all
need
just
it.
let it come out.
Y'all need it.
If we wasn't on this live, she would say it how she feel it. And I would have to take it and be like, I've been over there looking like, what in the world? You know, I'm praying for the brethren. I'm praying for you.
I think, okay, let me say it like this. When it comes to just division in the home, I think that men, right? I think are sometimes the root of the division. Can I say that's a strong statement?
You know, finish what you're saying. Men are the root
Yes, because
of all
what
evil in the house.
in the house.
Men.
The man.
It's not the
Explain that to us. Explain that to us, First Lady. You got to explain this.
Okay, so let me say this.
This session is going on.
Let me say this. Because it's a conversation. It's a conversation. I'm being extreme, but let me say this. Most of the time, the women do their role. They do what they're supposed to do as a wife, whatever that may be in your household. I don't know what that is. And the other part, most men don't do what they say they're gonna do. So many times the women or the wife is left to do her responsibility and his responsibility. And now she's resentful, she's upset, she feels unappreciated, and the husband is there and he don't really care. He's just there watching her, not, just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I say, the brothers, the men be right there. I mean, a man can say the same thing as a woman. I'm just gonna say from that. What do y'all think?
What you think?
I'm speechless.
Don't be speechless.
Listen, I don't want to keep, because I can talk, but I can talk towards what we do, and I don't want it to sound like that because come through therapy. Just don't smile.
Come on, go ahead.
Now I won't say that y'all are the cause of, all of the cause of the discord in the house, but I do believe, from my perspective, men do have a lot of pride, And if you come to them and tell them something about themselves, or come to them and let them know how I'm feeling, for some reason there's a wall up. And it's like, listen, I got things to do. I can't be worried about your feelings. And that's how I feel men just proceed in life. Like, okay, you want a hug today, but I ain't got time for that. I got to get these bills paid. And that's how I see that. So
I think I definitely don't agree. I think that it's both. However, where I see the discord coming in, especially when we're talking about the root of division, is when the expectations are not set up. So I feel like, you know, women in the mind, you know, it's like all these things run through a woman's mind. And it's like, okay, the man is supposed to do this, and this, and it's everything across the board, A through Z. And then we finally hear about it after the fact. It's like, well, when did we sit down and discuss these expectations? When did we actually discuss this? When did we come to an agreement on this? And so I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Because for me, if I need something or want something, or if I want to sit down and discuss something, I'm going to convey that message. It is not going to be internal. I'm not going to expect you to already know it. And I even said, I used to say it a lot. It's like, I'm not a mind reader. I cannot read your mind. I need to know. You can't tell me you want something to eat. And then you say, well, I don't care what you want to eat. And then I go up the street and get you something to eat. That ain't what I want to eat. Look, I'm not a mind reader. What you want? And so it's like, well, you should know what I want. That you're not meeting my needs and expectations. Okay. You're probably right in that instance. And then the wall starts to go up, because now I'm expected to know it all, do it all, be it all, and then get the backlash of it. Now I'm the cause of division simply because you're not even communicating what it is that you want or need. And when that changes, it also needs to be communicated. So
what
when
if
that
you're being told, what if your spouse is telling you, this is who you are, I don't like certain things, and you say, well, sis, you're gonna have to deal with it. This is who I am. What about that? Because that can cause division too. If your spouse comes to you and they're like, this thing that you do is irritating me, can you try to work on that, or can you try to fix that? That can cause division too. If the person's like, no, this is me, this is who I am.
And we've had that conversation, because that's a real life example. And I'll tell you what my response has been. If it's true to my core, if it's something that's true to me and you're asking me to change it, then it's like, okay, I can't change something that defines my makeup, if that makes sense. But if it's something that's small, or some type of, I don't know, habit that I can perhaps work on. But if it's, you know what, I need you to be more, I don't, like Jackie says, I talk loud. And, you know, so she says I talk loud. And, you know, maybe that's true. And sometimes do I try to work on it? And then it's difficult. But it's
you on 100 all day long.
Yeah, that's what it is. She's like, you're on 100. I'm always at this high energy level. But I'm like, that's me. It's been that way since I was born. And I don't know how to operate. I don't know how to operate outside of that, because then I become someone that I'm truly not. So
that's good stuff, man. I think that's amazing. I just think it's unfair to put the weight of all the root of all issues in a household on the men. That's so unfair.
Very unfair.
That's what sounds so speechless. I don't even know what to say to that.
Now, come on, Pastor. I need you on this one. Because
that means that you're literally exonerating yourself from the issue. You're recusing. Is that the word? Recusing yourself. Can I use the word?
Yeah.
You're dismissing yourself from the issue. You can't do that. You play a big part in the problem, just like you can't do that, or you can't minimize your part in the problem and escalate and elevate what that person is doing. Now that's wrong, you know. And I just don't think you will come to a solution with that mindset.
But
if you think I am the problem.
But this is why I think every so often in your marriage you should have a sit down and figure out, okay, if it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal, what are the plans, moving forward for the next 5 years? What have I been doing that you're not in agreement with? And then you can sit down and discuss whether or not I'm willing to work on this, or I'm not willing to work on this, or the responsibilities that you guys either share or don't share. Can we switch some of these roles? Are you willing to take on this role? I don't know. I just feel like something,
Look,
non-traditional.
take on some of these roles. I done said it before. Tell me I can sit down and chill out for a little while. Hey,
I love that. I love having a list, and we go by the list. This is my stuff. That's your stuff. And as long as the list is done in my timing, though, not your timing. See, it's a timing issue too in the house. We don't want to talk about that. That brings the
I need you to do it when I need it.
No. I'm not in a prison. I'm in my own house. I'm a grown man. I am not in your prison. If I know my responsibility, it will be done in the timely fashion that I feel like it should be done. As long as it's done, don't you worry about it.
If it don't get done in my timing, I'm gonna do it.
Well, see, okay, that's fine with me, but don't get upset while you're doing it.
I am gonna be upset.
No, that's wrong. That is wrong. I'm telling you, that is wrong. That's not the right way to see it. If I got my responsibilities, I'm fulfilling my responsibilities within the time frame, because I don't have all that schedules. I go with the flow. That's how I go. You know what I'm saying? I get it done, though. The key is I will get it done. Problem is, most women is like, get it done right now. This is supposed to be done right now. That right there, and it don't work like that all the time. And if you're gonna take on some of my roles, my responsibility, do it with gladness. Do it with the joy of the Lord.
No.
You gotta do it with the joy of the Lord. You know why? Because you taking it upon yourself to take my job, do on your own, because you want it done in your time. Hold on, think about it.
If I feel like it's hazardous or it's gonna mess up or whatever it is, when I say hazardous, I'm saying like not like I don't know, but I'm saying like if it's, say for instance,
hazardous.
if we think about shop on Amazon a lot, if I have boxes, I open the boxes, right? If I leave the boxes out there and I feel like I can put them out the trash can, and I don't in the trash, and I don't get to see like the boxes are out the next day or something like that, or within a day, I'll take it upon myself to break down my boxes and put them in the trash can. So that's a time issue for me, because what if the kids run or something like that and they get hurt? That's when I say hazardous, something like that. So things like that, to me, that's timing. Those things need to be put in the trash can right away. It don't need to wait. So sometimes you got to do it right then. Now, other things that can linger a little bit, but I think stuff like that where it can be harmful to somebody, you can get it up, right?
And Sister Elise, no, that was not what attracted me to.
Go ahead.
My husband.
What attracted? Good.
You were just smooth. You wasn't hyper. I don't know where the hyper. Well,
come on back. Thank you.
Hyper, but that's not how you got me.
How did I get you?
I like chill dudes. You cool, calm, and collect. You're on 10, 24/7.
She saw me working. That's what it was.
Yeah, but you're on 10, 24/7. So yeah, no, that's not what attracted me to him.
And if I can talk about the timing issue, going back to what
that timing is a big deal.
Yeah, it is, because we've had those discussions as well. And it's like, well, you didn't do it when I wanted you to do it. Well, what was it? What is this something that was literally detrimental to what was going on? It could be, something very small. And we're better in that area now, so it's easy for me to talk about it. But that was one of the things as well. It's like, well, you're not doing this when I say you need to do it. Hold on, this is I said the same thing. This is not a dictatorship. So
right.
I'll get to it. If you decide you want to take the initiative and do it because you want to do it on your timing, that's according to your timing.
Well, I think when you're married and you have children, you shouldn't have to tell your spouse 5 or 6 times to do something. And I know for sure in my house, it didn't get done. I had to do it. So if I have to keep reminding you, that means you're going to forget. So,
and if I got to keep reminding you, the kids or the wife ain't never been neglected and been without. I mean, by the end, if you think it's still gonna not from the providership, but even from the caring,
another division. could be your husband always talking about something financial. What he was have for you financially.
That's just one
See,
aspect.
See,
Sometimes I gotta be reminded.
see, that's for the ego. That's for the ego stuff. Like that's what that more
It's sad. It's sad that a man would even have to remind you about his significance of what he brings to the table like that. Because if a man would have to say that, that's bad. To me, if I gotta remind you of the importance of my response, my role here in this situation, something's it's bad. You should know that. Like, I come from old school, right? My dad, that's the way. That's the way I seen it in the house, right? My dad took care of all the bills, took care of everything, made sure there was food on the table, took care of everything. You know what I'm saying? My mother, all she had to do was just make sure we were good, make sure the house was clean, and it was all good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no friction and fighting and bucking up against each other because everybody knew their role. Now, I know it's not the old school way these days, okay? But there's some good stuff in that old school stuff way that can help us today. Because they've been married 40-some years, 45-some years. Let them tell it, yes. I'm sure they had rough seasons, I'm sure. But let them tell it. They've been married a long time. Now, I'm a mix between old school and new school. I like the old way.
He does like the old way.
Yes, because it's like everybody's clear. Nobody's fussing over nothing. My mother would never fuss at my daddy about timing or nothing like that. She respected him and said, he gonna get it done. That's my, I don't want to say, can I say, that's my dude. That's my dude. Like, he got it. Like, I never seen my mother tripping over nothing like that. You didn't take out the garbage in time. You didn't do this. You did. Where's this? Well, my dad, that's like what? She's not gonna waste his time on that. That's my guy. The bills are paid. There's food on the table. We moving forward. We got property over here. He's making it happen. He really, my mother didn't care. Long as she knew he was coming home and everything was squared away. That's it. See, y'all, it's something else. You got to do this. You got to do that. Got to do that. Why can't you help watch some of the kids? Why can't you help do this? Why can't you listen?
But and you know what? I think it is. I think it's good for both. But I'm just gonna speak, because I'm the man and married to a woman. But I think it's good for the woman to even, especially when you're in a situation to where you're saying you have a mate who's providing, who's doing this, doing that. Even outside of that, I think about my strengths and I think about Jackie's strengths. So, it's more than just one piece of the puzzle. Yeah, providing is one thing, but if it comes to helping kids with school homework, with homework and things like that, I'm gonna step in and do that.
That ain't my strength.
But I mean, do you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make sure that happens. If some crazy stuff is going on with the school or something that we really need to handle in a very strategic and legal way, I'm the one gonna step in and do that. So we have our roles, and so I think we have to play off of the strengths. And there's nothing wrong with us highlighting each other's strengths, because if you don't, that's a problem. If it's always finding a deficit.
So do men never want to know where they could do better in areas? I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but because then if we're talking about how does the house become divided, if a woman plays the role of the old school way, because I was raised very, very old school, and then, the woman really doesn't have to say vocally to her husband because he is providing, then that can be a division as well. Because now you're internalizing everything that you're possibly irritated with or don't like, and then you're not voicing it. So either way, it's kind of like, darn if you do, darn if you don't. When it comes to a woman telling a man,
But I think it's a balance. If all we hear as men, if the only thing we ever hear is what you don't do, what the deficit is,
right?
Prove on, you didn't do this today. Okay, it's a new day. Same thing here. It's like,
right.
Listen, I'm gonna block it out at one point in time because you're getting on my nerves now. All I hear, I'm just gonna be honest. All I hear, not me. I'm now speaking hypothetically. all I hear is the don'ts and the won'ts and the can'ts and the ain'ts and the after a while, it's the same old tune. So at some point, I think there has to be a balance in how you are approaching and giving out these messages. Can you find something good? Can you find else also while you are giving this constructive feedback? So it should not always be looking at what's wrong. When the thought process is to only look at what's wrong, you will get that partner who just blocks it out because that's all they ever hear. So it's about the approach. It's about having the right balance and finding something good and say, I appreciate this. I like the way you did this. That was unique how you did that. So I think it's important to understand and recognize the strengths and not just focus on the deficits. And that's a way to where you can really get your man's attention.
So they're constantly saying, you're doing a good job. Stroke your ego.
Stroke our ego. Absolutely.
Listen.
Stroke our ego. Yes.
I want all the women that are watching right now, all 460 people that are watching, and plus all of you, pay attention to what Jermaine just said. What he just said was powerful. Pay attention to it. All a man really wants is to be honored and respected. Yeah, and if you can get more out of that man if you appreciate his strengths instead of always highlighting his weaknesses. One thing about men, if you tell them, dude, you listen, you did that today. You the best ever. Like, you're the greatest. That's why I married you. You can get that man to do anything for you. When you stroke that, that's what a man has. His pride, his ego, his respect, and that makes him do better.
Yes.
A lot of people can praise him, but if it ain't coming from the one he loves, like if it's coming from the woman, his woman, like my girl, man, forget about all that. I'm going listen, I'm gonna show you, because I want to continue to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I think this generation of young people really need to like lock in on that. You know what I'm saying? Lock in on it. And I also think that when you have a good man, like appreciate that. Like, it doesn't just because you can have a good man, it doesn't mean that he's perfect, right? He can be a good man, but he's not perfect. I don't believe anybody's perfect, right? You're not gonna get just a completely perfect individual. Everybody's gonna need some work. So you just work on them, and over time, I believe you're gonna develop you're gonna have a great spouse that you're in love with, and over time, it's become exactly what you want it to be. The marriage is going to be exactly what you want it to be. The man is going to be exactly what you want him to be, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? You got a good woman. She's faithful. She's good. You know what I'm saying? She may have some weaknesses in some areas, but over time, if you keep working on that in the spirit of love and kindness and meekness and, building her, she's going to be what you want her to be. But we got to give it time, though, because we want stuff overnight. And it just don't work like that.
Let me say this.
No. Y'all let that simmer. Let that simmer. Because you're always trying to find something to rebut and to debunk what I'm saying.
I'm going to say I agree to a certain extent, but I think that the same respect and honor that men are expecting from their wives, they must do the same things for their wives. If you expect respect and honor, you have to be the example. You the head, you the leader. Show us that. Show us love and respect and honor. Don't make the wife feel that she is just the wife and you pay the bills, and when you are the one that told them not to have a job.
Don't look like that. I want you to.
That's my thing. This, that, and the other. Okay, Mr. You taking care of everything. If this is my house, because I'm the one that's making the house, or making it nice. When it comes here, I don't go to your job and tell you, Mr. Provider, this is how you did to do your job. When I come in the house, right? You come in the house. If I ask you, I'm making a point. If I ask you to clean up, right? Right?
I'm listening. It's got to come in some kind of way.
If I'm asking you to clean up in my domain, this is my space or whatever, I will want you to comply.
Absolutely.
I want you to respect what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If I'm being nice, Dietrich, can you take the trash out? Because that's how you want me to speak to you. I know because someone say, please take the trash out. Because I'm already at 10,000 at that point. The first time it's like, don't forget to take the trash out. Then it's, I see the trash. You take, oh yeah. I'm doing it. Let me do it on my own time. And it's not convenient for me. And I'm not being a nagging wife. For me, I just need it done. And to me, I have OCD. So a lot of stuff I need done right away. Right then there. I was like,
that scripture about the nagging wife. Where's that scripture?
oh man. But anyway, like I was saying, I agree. I agree, but I think and you were talking about the old school way. I don't think the times are how they viewed the women back in the day is not the way that women are today. Some people on here saying, "Oh, you need to be that, da da da."
Yeah.
Stuff that I see, I've heard my mother-in-law go through. I would punch Dietrich in the face.
Now what happened?
If he said
Wait, I was looking up a
stuff to
scripture,
me,
and you said, "What you said?"
we would fight.
What happened?
I said, a lady said on here that Jackie and I need to go to our mother-in-laws and sit up under them because that's how she learned, and we need to be up under them. And I said,
I know my mother-in-law knows.
if you went, that I heard from that my mother-in-law go through, I would have to punch Dietrich in his face.
Oh Lord.
Because to me, listen, let me say, for me, that's not okay. I grew up in a single, family, single parent home, and
Jesus help me.
I'm
I'm starting stuff in the comments. Y'all stop talking in the comments. She don't
listen.
listen.
Listen. Y'all don't want to listen. I'm telling, ma'am.
Listen.
All I'm saying is, it's good, yes, for a woman to be submissive, or to have a single role, but in today's time, it's not the same. Where the wife can just do one thing and the husband do one thing and it can be okay. We live in a different times where it's okay for the husband to sit down with his kids and be connected to his children and tell his children. There's a time where the husband is
present.
Present. He's not just out, getting the bacon and making all the money, and then he comes home, the wife gets his slippers and stuff like that. Because she probably just came from work too. So you can't say you got to be old school because no. My mom was very old. When my mama was married to my dad, she went to work. She was the breadwinner. She cooked, she cleaned, she took care of all of us. My daddy still came home, found a way to beat her, found a way to drink, found a way to go preach to the people, found a way to go cheat.
And preached.
And I'm saying you can be everything and your house still can be divided. Now I'm gonna say she was the perfect individual, my mother, but the way that she taught me how to be a wife and what I should do didn't seem like it was be solely independent, but you can't make nobody do nothing. And what my mom also told me is you don't know nobody. You think you know the person when you marry him, but you really don't know him until after y'all get married. So a lot of stuff that we're dealing with in marriage, you're learning about your spouse because when you was dating them, they weren't acting crazy like that or doing certain things. You sitting there like, you was promising me a whole bunch of stuff the other night, and look at you, nothing. No promises kept, nothing.
Y'all was dating everything. She put everything on display. All the good part, all the good stuff on display. Now you're in the situation, and what happened to the display?
Right. Listen.
When I was window shopping, it brought me in. Right. What's going on now? But take off them bonnets, take off them that grandma stuff, and put the display on. Amen.
Yeah, but I think what's important when we talk about the real person didn't really show up. I don't know if I necessarily all the way agree with that. So we've been in this 17 years now. So I know a lot of people looking, oh, y'all look 12. Yeah, but we've been in this 17 years now. So, but I'll say this, we're always changing. And to say that, well, I don't know this person, that may be true. You know why? Simply because you've changed as a person. I've changed as a person. And I don't think that people should have this false perception of you're going to remain the same. Oh, you were like this 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago. I have grown, I have learned, I have evolved as a person. So in a marriage, you have to continue to relearn each other. And I think that the key part about that is it's okay. You have to know that it is okay to continue to learn each other. When you stop wanting to learn about who your spouse is because of something they did, 7 years ago, even sometimes a year ago, that's a lot of pain and stress because, again, you're going to evolve. I'm going to evolve. You're going to evolve. We learn, we meditate, we pray, we get in the word more, we experience more things. We're more wiser. So don't expect me to stay the same. I think that's critical to understand. Well, you didn't show me this person because I wasn't this person. Now I am this person. And now help to relearn me because I have to continue to relearn you. So we have to maintain, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we are going to change. And that's okay. It really is. And when we get to the point in understanding that it's okay to change and evolve, otherwise we dead. Then you ain't never changed. So expect change and embrace change in a marriage.
That's good stuff, man.
Okay, I want to play this video. I think it'll be good. It's from one of my favorite shows, The Housewives. It's an old episode, but I think it fits. Housewives of Atlanta. Let me find it first. Okay. Yes, be quiet, little boy. Here we go.
From Emerson, New Jersey said, "Come on now, Cynthia, admit you had sex with Peter in Hawaii. Peter is fine, and you know you like how he lays it down."
Cynthia and Peter, how are you guys doing? We're doing good. I see.
Who here thinks that they took one last lap around the pool in Hawaii?
We tried to catch them. We would peek
we
at
would
their
watch
room
their
late at night.
doors.
No?
They would
No.
go separate
You
ways.
two seemed like,
Yo, if I can't have all of her, I don't want none of her.
wow.
Oh.
Wow. I like that statement. Todd and Candy, it seemed like the two of you were really disappointed that their marriage didn't last. Why did that hit you so hard?
We just wanted to see them win. You know, they got married on the show. Todd and I got married, on the show. And it just, we had that thing in common.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see them win.
Yeah. If you had to pin it down to one reason that the marriage didn't work, what would it be? Was money a big factor?
I don't think there's ever just one reason. It just was. I'm not gonna cry. Seriously, cry. It was very scary when we started having issues, and I just felt like over time I started to be just very resentful toward him. Even when we started to get back on track, I don't know. It's like I couldn't stop being mad at him for things that didn't work out when that wasn't the plan. And I don't do well in stressful situations. I do not. And I just felt like it was just too many stressful situations. And it just seemed like every time we got over one hurdle, it would be something else. And I didn't know how to be married. I did the best I could do.
That's deep, man. That was serious. He said, if I can't have all of you, I don't want none of her. So if I can't have all of her, I don't want none of her. What you think about that?
I think, okay, if y'all don't know, that's Cynthia has remarried. She's married to Mike Hill now. They just got married last month. But that's her ex-husband, Peter. That was her first time being married. And they got divorced. He ended up cheating, doing some other stuff. But anyway, I just felt like as a wife, I could relate to Cynthia when she said, I didn't know how to be married. And I think that's a factor that draws in a divided household or a house, not knowing how to be married. Even though I've seen my grandparents be married for 50 something years, I didn't live with them. I just seen that it looked good. It never looked like they fought, but according to my mom, she said they fought all the time. I mean, and my grandmother would tell him to kiss her butt and all this. I was like, Lord have mercy, the first lady is not. I She was like, it would be all kind of stuff going down. He going out the front door, she going out. I was just like, what in the world? But I think that's for me. I don't know how to be married. I didn't see my mother married. And then what she spoke of, what she had gone through in marriage, I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's something I can deal with, or, just a lot of things that she had to put up with. I don't think as a wife, that's something that I would want to deal with. And, and back in the day, the norm, it was okay to cheat on your wife and beat your wife and, be all kind of craziness to your wife. In the 50s and in the 70s, it was okay. It was a normal that, shut your mouth. You don't talk when a man is talking, stuff like that. So when people say old school, I'm like, now how old? We talking about the 80s, the 90s old? Or you talking about the 50s where women were not, seen as individuals? They were silent. Yeah, that's not, that ain't what I want. So I think that clip it shows how far or how much a person can take and what they're willing to take, depending on what the circumstances are, if they want to stay in that marriage. What y'all think?
It all depends on how much you're willing to take as an individual. And if you're willing to go the distance or the journey with another person, because again, like we said in the beginning, we're both different. And even though Christians, we both serve God, it's still difficult living with someone. And I know for myself, but he'll tell him all the time in tears, like, you don't know this whole wife thing. No one taught me how to be a wife. So you're having to deal with me in some of my most vulnerable moments because I didn't know. So,
you know what I do, what I can appreciate about that, because I get it and I can relate, because the same as, as Jackie said, and you said, like, I don't know what this white thing looks like. I'm thinking for us, we started early, so both of us, we didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know how to be a husband, let alone a good husband. Here's what I knew how to do. I knew how to survive. That's what I knew. I knew survival. I knew because, I've been grinding since I was 15, and so I knew how to survive, but I didn't know how to compromise and lead an entire family and go through all of that. And so I think it was a matter of literally us growing and figuring it out together. I can tell you this whole funny story, even just kind of thinking about it. I remember when we first moved in together and when that was our first big blow up, our first big argument was over the TV. Like, straight up, it was about the TV, because it was time to go to bed. Jackie wanted to keep the television on, and I'm like, no, we don't sleep with the TV on. TV got to go off, otherwise I'm up all night because I can't get any sleep. So, but again, and that was like,
you be out.
but it was such a huge blow up simply because it's like, you have two people coming together who are doing something totally different, and you're bringing two separate worlds because of things that she experienced in her past, things that I experienced in my past, and then getting together early, and you literally don't know how to do and how to figure it out. And so I think that is critical. And over the years, as we have evolved as individuals, I think it has helped us in marriage to, one, realize we don't have all the answers. We don't know all the answers, but the key word is that we've committed to it, even during the rough times. We've committed to it because it takes us back to our core values and saying, here's the bottom line. And this is what we've committed to, although we still are figuring it out. I'm still figuring out what a husband looks like. She's still figuring out what a wife looks like. But at the same time, we understand that and we know it and we're okay with that. And I think we've gotten to that understanding. I think that's key to get to that understanding.
We may not know how to be married, like Cynthia said. I didn't know how to be married, but you know how to love. You know how to love, and you know how to communicate and understand an individual outside of yourself. You know how to do that. It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of whether you want to do it or not. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you know how to love somebody and you truly love somebody, you'll be able to get over those hurdles that life will bring, and you will both develop into that the marriage will develop into the marriage that you both will want, because you love each other, and you're committed to each other, you're committed to the process, you're committed to making the marriage great. So I wouldn't be so hard on ourselves. We shouldn't be so hard on ourselves because, you know, we were young when we got married and we didn't know everything. But over time and experience, you got it. You know what I'm saying? And love is the glue that have kept you together over time. So I think if that love is in the equation, the unconditional love, that's the key. The unconditional love. Because a lot of people fall out because their love is conditional. As long as you're doing this, doing that, then I love you. If you doing everything right, I got your back. I love you. But if the minute you mess up, or fall short over here, fall short over there, then my love is kind of dwindling. No. Stop for a minute. Get your love in order. Because true love is unconditional. And true love will find a way to make things, to overcome those hurdles. The Bible says that perfect love casteth out all fears. That's the word. No, love covers a multitude of sins. Okay. So true love will help you cover your spouse and give you the grace and patience to walk with them while they're developing. And so I think that's the way we should look at it. I always tell y'all this story. Did I talk about the story with the lady I met at the airport?
Yes.
I said it last time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need to say it every time because it just sums it up for me. This lady, let me tell y'all one more time. I'll tell you it's my last time. I'm at the airport in Texas on a layover, and a lady comes up to me. She's an Indian lady, comes up to me going crazy, showing me all of my songs in her phone. She said, "I'm a huge fan of yours." And so she began to talk to me, and she said, "You know what? I'm Hindu." I said, "That means you pray to 100 different gods, right?" She said, "Yeah, I pray to this God for this, for that, for that. I got it." She said, "But can you believe this? My husband is Catholic." I said, in my mind, I said, "How's that working out? That's unequally yoked. That's confusion in the house." In my mind, like, man, he's praying to Mary, and she's praying to all the different gods, the water god, the sun god. I mean, she's doing this crazy. So I'm in my mind, like, oh, that's chaos in that house. I said, "How does that work?" She said, "Oh, it's love. We just love each other." She said, "No big deal. We love each other." She said, "We don't let all that stuff get all in the way of love. All that stuff is just a little detail stuff. We ain't gonna let it get in the way of our love. Like, that's my dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? I pray to what I pray, pray to what he pray, and then we good." And when she said that, it just, a light bulb just turned on in my head. Like, man, why can't we all just understand that? Like, respect each other's perspectives and, you know, and just let's love each other through it and respect it and just be the couple that God is calling for, instead of having to be my way or the highway or end all. You know, everything is just a conclusion. No, we love each other. We're going to work through this, you know, and that's the way I see it.
Okay, so our last question is, how do you repair or rebuild a divided house?
Ooh, it's good.
What's the first step? If you find yourself like this, how do you come back together?
Therapy, one, I think.
Therapy
Can be one of the steps that you both agree to do together and doing the work with them.
Yeah. I do agree. I think therapy is one part of it because it allows you to peel back these layers that sometimes you're not willing to do on your own. And you have this, you know, it's my way, it's your way, and no one is helping you to kind of work through some of that. So I do agree. If you say, how do we repair and rebuild? Yes, Jack, I totally agree. Therapy is one of those. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think the other thing is you have to be willing to put in the work. If no one is willing to put themselves to the side and say, I am committed to doing this, and I'm going to look outside of myself to actually put in the work, and the work is going to hurt, it's going to be tiresome, and it may be even ugly, but you have to be willing to actually put in the work to make it happen. Like a good example is, you know, we were raised differently. And so we bring that into how we raise our kids. And so I'm just thinking about it. You know, we were going on and on about, no, it has to be this way. And Jackie's like, no, it has to be this way. And finally we're like, okay, look, this right here, we both have to be willing to put in the work. Let's come together to the table and say, all right, what are some good things, some good qualities as a parent that you have? What are some good disciplinary strategies that you have? And that's just one example. And then it's the same way with her. She brings those awesome things to the table, and it's work. So I think a divided house has to be, I'm committed therapy, then I'm committed to doing it. You're committed to doing it. And the third part is not just the commitment, but the action. You know, we can have all the therapy in the world. We can strategize all day long, but are your actions really demonstrating that you're really ready to kind of bring this divided house back to some type of unified, or some type of unity? Those are just my initial thoughts.
I think that's incredible. And I think it's okay to lay a new foundation. I really do. I think it's okay to go back to basics, and now that we know where we are, I don't want to be so deep, you know, spiritually, but what comes to my mind is when the temple was torn down and the foundation, it was destroyed. The enemy that came in and burned down the whole temple, right? The house of God was destroyed. And all of a sudden, over time, the people that came back to Jerusalem and they wanted to rebuild the temple. They wanted to rebuild the house. The first thing they did was laid a new foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They laid a new foundation and they celebrated over the foundation. So I think, like, if something has been destroyed in the union, right?
Right.
Yet you still love each other. I mean, you love with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and you don't want to let each other go, right? It's okay to say, okay, let's start over. Let's go back to basics. Why do we get married? Why are we here? How do we get to a place where everything that we built has been destroyed? I'm committed. You committed. Let's lay a new foundation. Let's start over. And this time, let's build it better. You know what I'm saying? So it reminds me, you always telling me, like, here in LA, we have a lot of earthquakes, and they build the houses here with this. What do they do? So when the earthquakes come, it can't fall easily. Retrofit. So there are some houses that's not retrofit, and some houses here that are retrofit and can handle the new test that will come along, the new earthquakes, right? And so when the house is shaking, it just flows with the ground. You know what I'm saying? Because it was built to be able to handle this. So I think when you lay this new foundation, you should build it. You use the wisdom from the past and apply it to the future. Right. And I think you can go the distance if you're willing to rebuild, but build it better. Right. You know, that's what I think.
I think to rebuild something is to have those tough conversations, talk it out. If you got to scream and holler, you know, to get it out, work through it, share your heart. And I think you should be able to share your heart without the other individual getting upset, or I don't want to say not getting upset, but feeling some type of way about what you're saying or their perception of what's going on and what led you to this place. I think it's always communication, always talking, always working it out through words, but like Jermaine said, through your actions. How if it ended up with infidelity or something like that, you have to talk about how did it get there? What did I do? Why did I do this, or why did I do that? Or I just I fell out of love with you. Well, how did you fall out of love with me? What do I do? Things like that. Just having those really, really tough conversations and being honest with each other, so there'll be no mistake about what's going on, or there's no secrets or anything like that when it comes to how you felt and how you got to that place. And a lot of love and relearning each other and getting to know each other again.
And before you speak, I do want to say also, as far as like distraction, and that includes kids, work, whatever you have going on, those outside distractions have to be put aside sometimes, because at the end of the day, even when your children grow up and get older, they're gone. And then we have to deal with one another. You know what I'm saying? And so if your focus is always household and job, and then all those things that we had, they're all gone now. And then we're looking at each other like, oh, it's just me and you, so those outside distractions have to be put aside as well.
I think I'll also add really quickly, if you're going to bring the house back together, what I have learned and I'm still learning is before you come back and have those difficult conversations, I think you should go into your own closet and reflect on yourself. Because when you're having those tough conversations, a lot of times it's about, again, the other person. But if you can just say, hey, why don't you spend the day or whatever it is, some time, I won't put a number on it, but some time reflecting and working on and dealing with yourself. And if both parties are willing to say, I'm going to work on me, you're going to work on you, now we're going to come together. Because then I think you can be honest with each other. You can be honest about yourself, because a lot of the issues then come in simply because we haven't reflected on ourselves. And so it's going to be difficult to do that.
Really good.
Okay.
I
appreciate y'all joining us for this 2B1 live session. I always like to end with a song on a good note. So the song I chose tonight is from Dionne Warwick. We know it by Luther Vandross, but this is the original version. It's called A House Is Not a Home.
Oh.
And I hope you all enjoy it. And join us for our next session. And there's a bear. Yes. And have a good night.
Peace.
A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a home, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight, and no one there you can kiss goodnight. A room is still a room, even when there's nothing there but good. But a room is not a house, and a house is not a home when there are two of us are far apart, and one of us has a broken heart. Now and then I call your name, and suddenly your face appears. But it's still a crazy game. When it ends in tears. Darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart.